You're listening to The People's Pitch, the official podcast of Minneapolis City Soccer Club, brought to you by FootballStadiumPrints.com. Let's start the show.
And as I talked about just a couple minutes ago, as Joe Watt stands over this one, he appears to be the one taking the penalty here. This is a huge confidence booster if you're Duluth.
Worst case scenario for City right here.
And it stopped!
Yes!
And it stopped!
Totally redeems himself.
Matt Elder redeeming himself. Oliver with the right foot. The shot of the goal!
Oliver!
Justin Oliver will break the scoreless tie. And it is 1-0 Minneapolis City. Is Hutton now on the offense with the left foot. And it is now 2-0 Minneapolis City.
Good finish.
Nick Hutton taking his quick victory lap.
We are live. You are not for our yearly show during preseason practice. Welcome to the People's Pitch, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club. I'm John, of course, and it would not be a show without my guy to the right today, Nate Morales.
Yes.
Nate, we are 2 weeks away. I'm getting the tingle. We're watching 11-a-side City 1, City 2 scrimmage today. How excited are you now?
We are looking at soccer right now. And you're right, we will look at soccer again in a week, and from then it's only to the moon. But, John, you're right. Most importantly, I am literally to your right.
Yeah.
We are together again in person, just like the old days. So much love for that. Really, this is so great.
And I like how you said, I want to move, just look at you in the face, and I was like, we're watching a game.
Yeah, well.
So maybe we can long in each other's eyes afterwards.
Yeah, I suppose. Tonight, a little less city focused. There's a lot of city going on in the background. Which is an excellent metaphor for this show. Lots to say about what's been happening around the soccer world, but there will be some city talk at the end. I would say, first of all, John, call us the foremost U.S. Open Cup flame show. Of course, we've got more updates on that shit show that we're gonna love to get into here in a second. The Super League came and went, and
Talk about another shit show.
I'm so excited to hear you go off, dude. I know I have some opinions, and they all are basically eat the rich. And finally, we played a college. Minneapolis City played a college team, so we will recap this past weekend match. It was Minneapolis City versus St. Cloud State. So let's do this, baby.
So, all right. Here we go again, people. More ineptitude and clear transparency that the U.S. Open Cup is equal parts the best and the worst thing that U.S. soccer has to offer.
It should be so much better than it is.
I mean, for 100 years it was until MLS started.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So it was handed down last week that the 2021 U.S. Open Cup has now been canceled. So we were, what a shocker, by the way, we were at a place where we were then told it was going to be top-heavy, basically catering to the MLS.
Yeah. Jumping right to the Sweet 16.
Like literally 2 weeks ago. And then they had that weird random draw.
Yep.
Whatever that was. But now there's this overflowing concern of the pandemic that everyone is starting to say is the actual truth behind this, which is bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So they released the following statement. The logistics and financial burdens to have the tournament take place this spring in the current environment are substantial. Even though all of the U.S. soccer member professional teams will be playing in their respective league competitions this year, the committee did not feel it was wise to have clubs divert important resources during the next 2 months for Open Cup play. Instead, we will look further into the future to see what possibilities might exist for 21. After that, a full-scale 22 Open Cup is less than a year away. I don't understand what that means, Nate. I'm taking crazy pills here, apparently. This is just another slap in the face of the little guy.
We'll see what kind of we'll see what kind of tournament we can throw together at the end of the year for our MLS teams.
Basically, yeah, MLS is back.
Double back.
So
the beast with two backs.
Like I said, this is a slap in the face of the little guy. As I could count, I guarantee you, off the top of my head, between maybe the two of us, we could name 100 lower level teams that would jump at the chance to pay whatever money it costs to get in to keep this tournament going.
Yeah.
And that statement I read, correct me if I'm wrong, did you hear anything about amateur or lower level teams?
No, it was all about the MLS, the expenses that the MLS teams would incur.
Yeah, and all about the pandemic. Okay, people are getting their shots. I don't.
We got our shots.
Yeah, we got our shots.
Still masked up, but we are fully vaxxed.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's just another I was listening to the Peter Crouch podcast this week, and it was all about shithousery. This is total shithousery.
I mean, John, I guess I'm fine with the decision, even if the motives behind it suck. Like, I would rather there was no Open Cup again than an MLS-only tournament that is kind of dressed up as the Open Cup. Because, what a time to be alive, man. We've seen in real time over the last 6 years the transformation from the U.S. Open Cup as what felt like a super disorganized shit show run by idiots that usually ended in an MLS victory to now it is straight up an MLS money grab.
Run by different type of idiot.
Yeah, totally. And here we see, as soon as it starts to eat into a billionaire's bottom line, the tournament is off. Like you said, no consideration all these years for the bottom line of the little guy who has to struggle to travel or struggle to pay to rent a stadium for the tournament. But of course, it's COVID protocols that
nice ball, Mitch,
that you need to protect your players that are like the straw that breaks the camel's back for these franchises. So total horse shit. But I'd rather the cup did not happen this year than happen in the state that it was planned for.
I agree with you, but here's the thing. Then why not cancel it when you try to pretend that you care about the little guy joining in by random draw, paper, rock, scissors, face slapping competition or whatever the hell they did to select it?
Because as we'll find out in a second, with another doomed effort of billionaires are kind of stupid.
They are. How do they get their money?
It's just once you get your money, you lose touch with reality, and you start living in your own little billionaire world where whatever you do is the only thing that matters, and that's not how the world works. For now. Because speaking of straight up money grabs, John, the Super League poised to destroy soccer as the world knows it, and for 2 to 3 days, it looked like the American model of sports business, where sport exists for the billionaires and the fans are just happy to lie to themselves, was about to win out in Europe.
My favorite thing on the internet that I saw about it was there was a meme that was like, so that's what happened to NFL Europe.
Exactly. You have 12 of the world's biggest teams deciding to stab the sport in the back. 6 Premier League teams, 3 of which, are out from the outside looking in on the Champions League. Not qualified, and they're saying no qualification, no problem. Let's just start our own league. This is like the billionaire equivalent of taking your ball and going home, except instead of going home, you start a multi-billion-dollar league and exclude the teams that are making you look bad.
Well, they even talked about bullshit like, over the course of 15 years, we'll be donating $300 million to grassroots soccer. It's like, yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You guys are really good at giving money away.
Yeah. Considering this is all about keeping money.
Yeah. Luckily, John, the world came together. The world of soccer, the world of soccer fans, even the world's governments decided to band together, because it's rare that you get to call bullshit on the super rich and actually stop them in their tracks. And this is something that did it. The first line of defense, John, where you started to think that there might be a chink in the armor was the Germans.
Yeah.
They were hoping to get 15 initial teams, including PSG, but also BVB and Bayern Munich. And the Germans said flat out no.
They said 9.
Right away. 9. Why did the Germans make such a hasty and, I guess, unique decision, given that there's also a lot of money to be made from soccer in Germany?
Well, we've talked about before in the 50+1 rule, and we'll explain that in a little bit. But essentially, the reason why the Germans didn't get down with it is because that entire league is all about domestic success for their teams. And it's one of the reasons why I feel like there's parity across the Bundesliga every year. Yes, Bayern's good. Yes, Dortmund's good, but there's always 2 to 3 other teams for those other 2 Champions League spots that interchange every year, and there's always like a surprise team. Then there's always a team like the Schalkes of the world that gets relegated. So there's
how many years ago was Schalke top 4?
Right, exactly. So the parity across the Bundesliga, I do believe, week in and week out, is the best soccer.
Yeah.
Because you never have that. I mean, I shouldn't say never. You rarely have that like 5-0 drubbing. It's usually very close games, end-to-end action, very much like the Dutch First Division. So I'm not surprised by it. But the 50+1 rule, let's just define that here. So the rule guards against meaning that clubs, and by extension their fans, hold the majority of the ownership rights and voting rights for a club. So this is a league-wide rule, and you are not allowed to play in the Bundesliga if you have a commercial investor that owns more than 49%. So Red Bull owns 49% of Leipzig. So that's basically how it works.
And that makes sense, because that means that even if you've got a sports management conglomeration that owns a stake in the club, they can't own a majority, so they can't really make decisions of this caliber to remove the club from multiple competitions and put them in their own league.
And the club's not going to do it,
right?
So because it's club over league always, right? So I mean, even if Red Bull said, "Hey, we want to do this, so we're going to make so much more money," they could inform the decision, but they can never make it.
Sure.
We got a nice corner kick action here. See if Max Stiegler, Captain Max, can swing one in here. Oh,
decent.
Anyways, back to shithousery.
Yeah, so besides the Germans basically saying no, all of a sudden Super League is down from 15 teams to 13 teams before the ink is dry. PSG also never signed and never really was interested. A lot of that is due to probably the chairman of PSG's really, really good relationship with the chairman of UEFA.
Yeah.
Right? And they also, just like the Germans, decided that tradition and the soul of the sport was more important than money. So hats off to them. After the announcement, John, of course, the thing is like games were going on. Like the game week in the Premier League was almost 2 weeks long, right?
They announced it.
So you had game Sunday, you had game Monday, you had game Tuesday. So these coaches, these players
weren't consulted.
No, they were definitely not consulted. They were surprised by the news. And then, of course, they're the only people that the media can talk to about this. So the coaches are hung out to dry. You've got Pep sitting down for an interview and then basically saying, this isn't sport. Yes, Manchester City wants to be the best, but we don't want to be the best just because someone puts us in a league. We want to be the best because we're beating all the other teams.
Right.
And we want to give other the game doesn't mean anything if you can't earn the spot to be there, or earn the chance to be there, or earn the right to be there. Jurgen Klopp, another German, furious at this effect that the announcement has on his players and on the fans and on their relationship with each other, right? And also on being hung out to dry. He had no information, and he was bombarded by
it was
media.
Announced at like 11 o'clock the night before games were going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, that in itself sounds like bullshit.
Super shady.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree with Pep. I mean, well, also he's a former Bayern Munich coach, so he gets it.
Yep.
But it's just interesting that I'm sorry, I didn't really read through your notes here.
No, that's all right.
Let's talk a little bit about who's really driving this.
Right. So the cool thing is like you expect the players to. The problem is the players, of course, were going to speak out because by virtue of playing in this new league, UEFA decided that they would not be able to play in World Cup qualifiers that, of course, UEFA runs, and that means that guys like
not just qualifiers, the actual World Cup.
That too, eventually, right? So that like you've got guys like Aaron Ramsey, you've got guys like Jordan Henderson, you've got all the Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane,
Bruno Fernandes.
Like, these are huge name players that drive the success of their national team, and they take a lot of pride playing for the national team. So to tell them all of a sudden overnight that you're going to be in a new league.
The team you play on is causing you not to play in the World Cup.
Exactly.
You're going to be like, I'm out.
Absolutely against it. Plus, they were also super cognizant of the effect of this announcement on their supporters. So you saw captains get together immediately via social media, via their internal, WhatsApp and texts. And you had Jordan Henderson coming out, leading the captains group. You had Hector Bellerin coming out and doing his thing. Also, as an owner of a lower league team that would have been affected by this, so he had to understand. Bruno Fernandes, all these guys were, the negative feeling from the players was so strong. So I think that was something that maybe these owners failed to anticipate.
Well, let's quickly talk about who is actually leading the charge for the Super League. It's Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Right.
And the thing is that both of those clubs financially are a mess.
Absolutely.
Barcelona is pretty much broke, and Real Madrid is basically broke, but their own 90% of their ownership, I believe, is the Bank of Madrid, which means they basically print money to buy players. But I think their ownership was like, we're not going to loan you any more money. We're going to have to figure out how to make it back.
Yep.
And they're the ones that are just holding tight. And then the president of Real Madrid, on the back of all of this is my favorite part. On the back of all this is like, soccer games should be shorter. Young kids have a low attention span. And you're like, what are you drinking, bro?
Young kids. Well, this is the thing: is they overvalued this whatever fucking market research they did. They thought that the kids want to see Barcelona versus Man City every week.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
And
I mean, they do, but in the Champions League,
exactly, like
where they earned it.
Thankfully, John, before the first waves of panic could give way, this league falls apart. Right, first Chelsea backs out.
It's still on. Everyone's just backing out, except for those two teams and Juventus.
Yep. So Chelsea backs out. Man City. The rest of the Premier Leagues fall in line after Boris Johnson threatens them with legislation that's gonna make them hurt. They buckle under the pressure of literally everyone, from supporters to sponsors. Liverpool lost a sponsor. I think Juventus or Inter lost a broadcast partner in Australia.
Man United's director, Ed Woodward, resigned.
Well, now's the time for heads to roll, right?
Well,
people are resigning.
I'm glad he resigned. The best thing that came out of the Super League is Woodward being gone.
Awesome to see also, like, Sir Alex Ferguson, I think...
Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, Arsene Wenger. All these old players, the Nevilles, everyone speaking out against this all at once. Made for a really, that would have been a nice one. Made for a really intense couple days, but in the end, John, this decision that these billionaires made based on marketing research and on behalf of their own pocketbooks fell apart because these groups were united in their opposition. They all understood something that the owners failed to understand. Like I said, sure, their research probably told them that young fans would really love to see Man City versus Barca every week, but the sport is about earning those matches, right? Those matches are special because they only happen in a great once in a while.
Yeah.
Because both those teams, through their play and through their amazing players, earn the way up to play each other. And I think without earning it, those matches mean nothing, and people recognize that and railed against it. So
you know what it is basically? It's
Super League.
What's the thing in the summer, the Champions Tour that comes in the United States, and it's basically the preseason Champions Challenge or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
They basically were like, "Oh, look at that! We can sell out the Rose Bowl in Michigan for Man City versus Man United
every week."
But we can do that every week, all over the globe.
You're right, dude. This is basically like they tried to make this about as American as possible, right? NFL Europe died for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think
good ball.
It's good to know that kind of thinking is still dead. So happy to see you go, Super League. Scared the shit out of a lot of little kids.
Well, essentially, we're okay. We're going to have a short show today, basically, because we're in that weird zone where no one could talk to us because of the fact that they're either training right now or we haven't quite gotten them signed up. So we are going to get into city action now. So we're going to have a short show. We'll finish it up, Nate. We played some soccer last weekend, a combined city roster of MC1, MC2, and the Futures. Got together, got their negative COVID test. That was a requirement.
Yeah.
And headed down to play a friendly versus the newly formed NCAA Division II squad, St. Cloud State.
That's super interesting. Brand new NCAA Division II team. Never played a real competitive game.
Well, no. They played games this weird COVID season. But
oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't like this is their first ever game. But first season. We came home with a 3-2 victory. It was a very good very good step for both organizations, because I think what it does, it opens the door for not only our younger players to showcase themselves in front of a new college program.
Totally.
So create that relationship for that pipeline for kids to make the next step from the Futures program. But it also gives us another quality opponent that we'll be more than happy to play. It has a facility a little bit further, but it is a little far away. So before we dive into the actual match, definitely want to thank head coach Sean Holmes and the leadership in St. Cloud for the opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's, all best of luck, Coach Holmes, on your program. A lot of local guys are down there. It seems like you've got a good amount of talent playing for you, so that's really exciting. But John, first, let's talk about the team that rolled out there, because it was definitely a Voltron of a team, right? A lot of Futures kids, a lot of MC2 kids, some MC1 guys trying to break through and make names for themselves. Everyone trains and practices together. We're looking at it right now. We've got a field full of three levels of players here, but playing in a real competitive game is a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I noted, combined roster. Yep. Here's how it breaks down. I'll give you the starters after we talk through it. So from the Futures program, we'll go bottom up. From Futures program, Evan Siefkin, goalkeeper, defender Kai Alcacira, midfielder Jacob Popkin, forward Zach Susee, who we'll find out had a very big day. MC2 had goalkeeper Devin Thompson, defender Will Orser, defender Connor Aksoz, defender Miles Stockman-Willis, defender Adnan Jalib, midfielder Abdi Kadi, midfielder Esteban Badillo, forward Abai Habat, striker Derek Ullman. These are all names that we will be introducing at a future show here, in the not too distant future.
Yep.
And then MC1 had defender Jack Barry and Wes Lawrence, midfielder and former Bavarian. Always got to throw that in there.
Yep.
Dom Mesjian, whatever, Dom, and striker Josue Batule. So that's how it broke down. Starters were goalkeeper from Futures, Siefkin, midfielder Popkin. Defenders were Will Orser, Akaz from MC2. In the midfield, Abdi Kadi from MC2, Abai Habat, and striker Derek Ullman. And then from MC1, you had defenders Jack Barry and Wes Lawrence, and then Dom Mesjian in the midfield. So even the starting lineup itself, Nate, had a great mixture of all three levels.
Yeah. John, I was today years old when I found out that Miles Stockman-Willis is back with the team, training with the team, and it sounds like doing incredibly well.
She just scored, actually.
Yeah.
While I was talking.
Amazing to see him back. He was a really great guy and a really important piece of City's success years back before he moved to Sweden. So it's really cool to see him out here, see him back there. We'll have to keep our eye on that. So, like we said, players that play together or train together quite a bit, but might not necessarily be ready for a competitive game as a unit. How did this game go?
Well, as you can probably tell, Nate, having this type of mix of roster, like you mentioned, although they train together, it might not really be game ready together.
Yeah.
Going up against a team that trains daily and is almost done with their spring season. That spells potential big issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can say confidently that I was very impressed with what I saw. Clearly, St. Cloud had the full fitness thermometer,
sure.
As they should. But our guys stayed compact, and they did a really good job of building out of the back and keeping the ball and not pressing. That's one thing that what we've found in city history is we either come out of the gate too fast and we fizzle, or we start too slow. Yeah. It's a really good balance of us just playing good soccer and not forcing anything.
Sure.
Which is, I think, from a system perspective, what you're going to see more of in 2021 across all of our levels. Oh, good save, Mitch Wolf. So midway through the first half, a quick City defensive mistake was capitalized on, and goalkeeper Siefkin for City was really just in no man's land, hung out to dry, and the home team was up 1-0. But a common theme that you'll hear as I'm talking through the game was City came roaring back right away on the back of a nice bit of build-up from Abai Habat down the wing, who had about a 40-yard diagonal ball to Miles Stockman-Willis, who was then taken down in the box, but the ball popped right to future striker Zach Susee, who calmly slotted home the equalizer, and I think it was literally like 4 minutes after they scored.
Nice.
So the resiliency to go down, but then to be able to battle back the right way and not force anything. So that's how the game went in the first half, 1-1, and at that point, City, I think, totally leveled up and then slowly started to turn the game in of what was kind of half chances by St. Cloud, with nothing of real substance, into making itself really a dominant presence. And then until second half, about midway through the second half again, Jacob Popkin from the Futures program got caught ball watching, and his man kind of drifted free at the top of the 6-yard box, and a ball got slotted through. And once again, Evan in goal was just kind of like, what do you want me to do, man?
Yeah.
This is target practice. They slotted home the go-ahead goal, and once again, the hosts were up 2-1. But we did what we on that day did best. Came right back, did not rush, trusted the ball to do the work, and sent St. Cloud, who was kind of in a low-pressure system, chasing for the remainder of the game. And then, again, Zach Susee coming off the wing, making a really smart run past the back line, making them basically stand still. Whoever was guarding him...
Turnstile the kid.
Whoever was guarding him was a parking cone. Considering you'll find out later how he finished his day. But Abdi Kadi put a nice, well-weighted pass through the channel, and he ran onto it, and then City's tied 2-2. So much of the same for City, though, saw them keep possession for large portions of the game, and the rest of the second half was pretty much just us keeping the ball, trying to find our spots. No real attack of substance from St. Cloud. They had a few, like I said, half chances, but then Abdi Kadi found Zach Susee. That connection happened again in almost an identical fashion to not home the game winner with about 5 minutes left to go in the game. City killed it out, and Zach Susee walked off the field with a hat trick.
That's pretty amazing for a kid who
just turned 18.
I think you also were telling me that he was kind of lost in the in the process
recruitment.
In the recruitment process.
Yeah,
he's talking about, right?
He's Mr. Soccer.
Mr. Soccer,
and he has nowhere to play in college right now
because he just didn't understand how to navigate that system.
Well, no, it was more so like with the transfer portal, teams are going to keep 50-year seniors instead of trying to bring in a 18-year-old.
Sure.
I mean, it's the unfortunate landscape. So, like, a lot of kids are taking gap years. But here's the thing. He's a 4.3 student who got a 35 on his ACT. He can go anywhere in the country he wants to go, but he's having a tough time trying to find a place to play.
Yeah. Well, hopefully a summer full of performances like this one. There's excellent defense. Summer full of performances like this one is gonna get Zach noticed, and amazing kid, amazing student, going to be off to a good program. Other thing I want to bring up, John, is kind of like you mentioned, much of the even this group of players made up of generations of Minneapolis City players, we can say, right?
Yeah.
Playing to the soul or to the heart of Minneapolis City. Possession based. Looking for those incisive passes, switching the field and finding that run, that kind of a thing. So that's really interesting to hear that the system has boiled down all that way.
Yeah.
Also interesting really to hear. Sorry to say, defensive errors also boiling down.
Yeah. Still happening. Still happening.
I think you can pretty much say that any goal scored against Minneapolis City 2 years ago was, chances are it was based on a defensive error and not excellent build-up by any opponent by any means.
Yeah, I mean, the finishes were nice for St. Cloud.
Sure.
But, I mean, like any soccer game, typically a chance is created by a defensive letdown.
Yep. So nice to get the guys out a couple weeks before the season starts. We've got another scrimmage coming up next weekend. What are the things that the team learned, and what are the things that we're going to build towards with only a couple weeks left?
Big takeaways for me, like you mentioned, you were reading my notes. The system of play that we are trying to implement.
I didn't even read those notes.
It worked.
That was pure analysis by this guy.
That was really good work. Really good work. It's almost like we haven't done this together in a while. Our brains aren't used to connecting through the internet when we're sitting next to each other. We have that sixth sense, right?
That's right.
But yeah, the system of play. You had guys playing in their right positions, but playing next to people that they might not be used to. I mean, we had two center backs that are used to playing together at St. Thomas, that were playing together in that game, who most likely will play together this summer. So, yeah, we had that continuity, but the style of play that Matt wants to implement on the first team and has reiterated to Michael for the second team, and then on to JJ while we're having these futures 11-a-side matches that they've had against Shattuck St. Mary's and Dakota Tech. It's all translating well. So that's a big takeaway for me, is that we've created a club system.
Yeah.
And it worked. When we have interchangeable pieces, you bring the right type of player and you drop them into that role, they know what to do.
I'm not sure that such a system has been created in Minnesota in a long time.
Yeah.
Has been active in Minnesota, I should say, in a long time like this. So that's really cool.
So number 2 takeaway is cleaning up those 2 clear mistakes defensively, which you also talked about.
Yep.
That I believe were avoidable. Our shape limited St. Cloud to nothing real dangerous. Yes, about 1 or 2 real good chances where Siefkin made some big saves, but they were from distance and it wasn't anything close in. And then obviously those 2 errors. So like he said, again, not reading my notes, we usually have a couple of those brain farts a game where you're like, God damn it, here we go again. So good to see there were only 2 of those, and we were able to claw back and get the win and kill the win out. And then lastly, Zach Susee is the real deal. If you're a college coach right now and you have even he doesn't even want money, he can pay for his own school. He just wants to play college soccer, and he wants to go to a good academic school. So we tap the mic here.
Hello.
Is anyone listening?
Hello.
McFly. Contact me,
Zach Susee.
John.Bisworm at mplscitysc.com. Contact me. This kid's the real deal, and he recently turned 18. So look for him to have a bright future with Minneapolis City as he climbs the ranks. He's actually been selected already to play to continue on top of the Futures program with City 2 this summer.
Already?
Yeah, already got elevated. So
looking at Rookie of the Year.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
So that's where we're at.
Well,
so
that's awesome.
Well, that's my takeaway.
We're gonna find. Obviously this was not a match that fans could attend, but that match is coming up quickly.
Yeah.
We're playing against. We're coming up on May 1st at 3 p.m. versus the Karen FA. That's downtown Minneapolis at Parade Stadium, right outside of prestigious Breck High School. Or is it the Blake School? I can't remember. One of the two. I think it's Breck. This is a ticket.
It's right across from prestigious Dunwoody College of Technology.
Yeah, that's true. Right next to the prestigious Minneapolis Sculpture Garden. This is a ticketed event, so you're gonna have to buy a ticket unless you're a member, and then you can just go. But
bring your ticket card.
Bring your card. But if you want to buy a ticket, you can go on over to mplscitysc.com, click shop, and then the tickets are right there. Boom, there you go. Come on out and see the first Minneapolis City action of the year, May 1st, 3 p.m. versus Karen FA. It's going to be so awesome. Oh my God, I can't wait, John.
Yeah, I'm going to have to help coach. So literally all of our coaches are coaching state cup games except for Tori. So we will have the first instance where a female is going to be in charge of, a female coach is going to be in charge of our first team. Full on. I'm just there to support her. So she'll be in charge, and she's chomping at the bit. We talked about it a little bit. She's gearing up for it, and I'm super excited to just share the bench with her and help her out with whatever she needs.
Well, I can't wait to be there. Can't wait to meet all the new interns.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see all the players at the field.
You mean wind turns?
That's right. May 1st, 3 p.m., mplscitysc.com. Click on shop, buy your ticket. We are here with Mr. Soccer, Zach Susee. Mr. Soccer, tell us about yourself. Where did you grow up? How did you get into soccer, and where have you been playing your ball up until now?
Well, I'm a lifelong Shakopee, Minnesota kid, born there, raised there, never moved. So grew up there. My father played Division I soccer at the University of Richmond, so he...
Hey, go Spiders!
Go Spiders!
Yep. He,
Crawl on, Spiders.
He forced me into it when I was about 2 or 3 years old, and I loved it, so I stuck with it the whole way and played with Shakopee, the local club for a while, and ended up moving on to play with Rev, which became Salvo, and under Coach Jamie Johnson, we won 3 straight state cups. Got to say, one of the best runs in...
Yeah, it might be historic.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you went on to obviously play at Shakopee High School, where you were voted Mr. Soccer, and you are an All-American, and you're going to be going off this summer to the All-American game, correct?
Yep, I'm super pumped about it down in St. Louis, so really excited to get the opportunity to play in that game for sure.
Get to show your tool chest up against the rest of the best players in the country.
Yeah, I actually haven't gotten to play against anyone outside of Minnesota in around a year and a half now, so I'm really excited to see, if I run into some old friends or old compatriots.
Old foes.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be really fun.
Nice.
That's really cool. Zach, how did you hear about Minneapolis City and the Futures program?
So actually after a high school game this season, we were playing against Lakeville North, which Jeremiah, who runs the Futures program, is an assistant coach at, and he approached me after the game and said, I've got an opportunity for you, and he's a great salesman, and he talked me into it, and I am very thankful for that because it's been absolutely fantastic.
Nice. So what have you liked so far about it other than getting noticed and then recently being elevated to City 2 for the summer?
I think the Futures League is probably one of my favorite concepts for a league and any training program I've ever been in. Just the connection to the neighborhoods, and then the mentor coaches is awesome. Getting a chance to play with some of the older guys,
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a really great time with that. And then training with MC2 and the senior team has been a fantastic opportunity. I mean, the pace is something I've never been exposed to before.
Yeah.
The first training I was like, holy crap, I'm not ready for this. But I think I fit in pretty well, and it's been a really good time. So
Nice.
So, Zach, last weekend, big trip up to a college program, 3 goals. Bam. Was that exactly what you were envisioning when you woke up in the morning?
Abdi before the game actually told me, you're going to score a hat trick today. And I was like, you're going to score. I wasn't even starting.
No, you are. No, you are.
I wasn't even starting. My hamstring was kind of bugging me. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to score a hat trick today. But, I got in the field, and my first touch, Miles just, fell on the ground in the box.
Got destroyed.
Yeah, and the ball dropped to me right there. I was like, okay, that's one way to start your career. And didn't get subbed off, and great pass from Abai and a great pass from Abdi on my next 2 goals. They're just one-touch finishes. It's all in the setup, and I think I meshed really well with the guys, and that was the biggest part of the game, more so than just individual brilliance or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I was there. I watched the video. I think, but even though they were one-touch finishes, they were all from different angles. It kind of showed how you have that goal-scoring touch. You can go up high on a keeper. You can slot one past them. You can finish in traffic. So it was a nice collective hat trick, I believe.
Absolutely.
So we mentioned a bit ago while you weren't on here, we were talking a little bit about you, and the college recruiting landscape has given you some issues. How have you found it, and what are some of the roadblocks you've run into?
When COVID hit, it was a pretty big drop-off in contact from coaches. It's actually been a dead period for over a year now in terms of Division I, so I actually have never visited a school on an official visit, Division I-wise. I was being recruited by, I would say, 5 to 10 places that after the pandemic was in full force, they just told me, we're going to be done with recruiting for this year. The extra year of eligibility that the NCAA offered
the portal guys,
to their athletes, made it so a lot of schools were like, we can't take any more guys. We got Title IX issues or whatever and whatnot. And, I don't want to feel any disdain towards those kids because obviously they got a season robbed from them. But it's tough to not, I do wish that it went a little bit differently for me, but I've ended up in a situation where I had to apply as a student and try to get into schools where
Before you would have tried to go soccer first.
And so I was going to try to walk on, but I didn't end up getting into a lot of the places I wanted to go, so I'm kind of teetering on taking a gap year, staying local for this fall. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet. But
Well, I mean, you're now in your future home of soccer.
Exactly.
So you'll have something to do at least, because we'll obviously be having things going on and potentially some friendlies in the fall. So if you don't do that, you don't end up going to school to play. We'll have some soccer for you. Honestly, in case you're a college coach out there listening and you're looking to add to your program, Zach he's the real deal, man. He's showing it in our futures program, showing it up against a Division II program. I'm positive you can do it against a Division I program.
Zach, in case any college coaches are out there listening, what are you looking for in a college program?
I guess my number one thing that I've always held throughout the recruiting process is that I'm looking for somewhere where I can go to school first and then have soccer as well. I like to think of myself as a very academic first person. And obviously soccer is very important to me, but I want to find somewhere where I have a good balance between both. And then I just want to go somewhere where I can compete. I mean, national championship, conference championship, whatever it is, I am an extremely competitive person. So, I want to, find somewhere I can win, somewhere where I can compete for a spot. So, those would probably be my 2 or 3 biggest things. But at this point, just looking for somewhere that'll take me.
Come get him.
That's right. All right, man. Well, on a personal note, I'm going to be doing all the in-game announcing for the MC2 games this year, which is a new thing for me. I don't know a lot of those players, so it's great to meet you. Great to have a personal connection so I can scream your name every time you score a goal. I'm really super excited to see you. Zach, thanks for joining us. First appearance on any podcast. Glad it was ours. And we'll be seeing a lot more of this guy for the rest of the summer and hopefully years to come.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on, and I can't wait to hear you call my name. So to the moon.
And that's all for this week's show already, John. I mean, it felt short, but I don't know.
Sometimes we need a short one.
Yeah, thank you to our new sponsor, FootballStadiumPrints.com.
Kicking out just great shit right now.
Yeah, amazing. You guys, we started a trend partnering with FootballStadiumPrints.com. They are so hot right now. They're kicking out amazing shit, just like John said. Too many to list. Line drawings of some of the coolest stadiums in the world.
He's getting
in
college
both t-shirt
football
and print.
stadiums that host soccer now.
Yeah. So just go check them out. Buy some stuff. FootballStadiumPrints.com. And remember, it may be an English bloke making some great art, but all U.S. orders ship right here from the U.S., so there's no additional international shipping charges for you. And what's better? Well, City fans can head on over to FootballStadiumPrints.com, check out maybe the new Edor Nelson Field shirt and print designs, and you use code CROWS10, and you save 10% off of your orders. That is CROWS10. You can rock the home of the Crows right there on your chest or up there on your wall above your bed.
Augsburg, we'll give him some love too.
Yeah, and
Augsburg plays there too.
Yeah, Augsburg plays there, I guess, but I've never been for one. Thanks again to our friends, FootballStadiumPrints.com. Hey, if giving back to the community means a lot to you, maybe it is time to give to the club that gives back. Minneapolis City is a 501c3 that provides a safe, reliable, and fun environment for young people to play the beautiful game. Just like our upcoming summer camps, as well as through our Futures Program Scholarship Fund. Consider that tax-deductible donation today to a true city-focused organization. Season only 2 weeks away. Can you believe it? I'm sure questions are out there about what's going to happen, who's going to be playing, what kind of system we're in, what people are eating for breakfast before the game, all sorts of stuff. We can investigate. We can get answers for you. Send us mail. It is easy. Hit us up on Twitter at The People's Pitch or through email at mcscpodcast@gmail.com. All questions, comments, and concerns are welcome. And finally, as always, you hit the club up at MPLS City SC on the Twitter. Thanks for joining us this week. That is going to do it for us. I've been Nate. This is John to my left. Amazing to see you in person again, John.
Yes.
Games are coming, so make sure you head over to mplscitysc.com and get your membership if you haven't, because the only way from here is to the moon.
There you got Hoof.
To the moon.
You got Hoof. Yes, Coach Ryan Nichols.